Good afternoon, I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Guns, gangs and dons are a triple threat which the government says must be dealt with if Jamaica is to see a reduction in the murder rate. Prime Minister Andrew Holness spoke of the issue as he announced a new state of emergency for Clarendon and St. Catherine yesterday. The details in this report.
The security forces have repeatedly attributed Jamaica's high murder rate mainly to gang war. But Prime Minister Andrew Holness says in addition to killing each other and whoever may get in the way, gangsters are also constantly recruiting new members from communities. Mr. Holness explained that gangs present themselves as protectors of the community and as legitimate business operators providing help for families in need. But he's warning parents not to be fooled.
They're criminals, that's what they are. And they prey upon the communities. They prey upon your children. They literally recruit them. You may not see it as recruitment, but they're done in your community, and I'm certain you know who they are. They see your son going to school, doesn't have proper shoes, doesn't have lunch money, and all of a sudden they are providing them with lunch money and clothes and bringing them to places.
It's understood that the recruiting extends to investing heavily in some young people with the expectation that they will work for the gang in the future.
Some of the criminal enterprises are so sophisticated that they look for the brightest, pay their school fee, and encourage them to join law enforcement, to become lawyers. That is the level of thinking that some of the criminals are doing now. They want to know the bright ones because they want them to help them with cyber crimes. The government isn't sitting down idly and not paying attention to these things.
He says in developing intelligence capabilities, the security forces will be better able to address this threat from gangs. In the interim, he says the SOEs have created the space for better policing.
In addition, it has given greater capacity to regular law enforcement to do regular law enforcement. So they are doing more community policing, and I want you to take a look, if you get a chance, at what is happening in Salt Spring. They are doing their search and recovery of firearms. They are doing public order operations on the streets of Montego Bay. So it is not a substitute. It helps.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The government is again defending the use of states of emergency, SOEs, as a crime-fighting measure. Yesterday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a new state of public emergency for the parishes of Clarendon and St. Catherine, but with mounting questions about its effectiveness and seemingly replacing regular policing, such as patrols and curfews, Mr. Holness sought to bring some clarity on why it's been used so frequently.
Is not using the state of public emergency as a substitute for regular policing. What the state of emergency does is to provide a respite in the number of crimes, in particular murders, that are taking place. It helps to expand the number of law enforcement personnel that we have on the ground. It helps to restrict the free movement of the criminal enterprise.
Major General Anthony Anderson also defended the use of SOEs, stating that it works along with other police measures. He says the SOE has also helped the police to charge and convict a number of persons for various crimes.
We had 22 convictions in the high courts down in St. James. So everything's happening at the same time. The state of emergency is not a substitute for other police work. It's being done on top of all of the other police work that is being done.
Tomorrow is decision day for the near 3,000 delegates of the People's National Party, the PNP. Incumbent Dr. Peter Phillips is being challenged for the post by President by Central Manchester Member of Parliament Peter Bunting. The campaign has been dogged by accusations and allegations of vote buying and stolen ideas. Dr. Phillips, who spoke at a press briefing on Wednesday, insists the party is heading in the right direction under his stewardship.
They started the campaign on the basis of a poll. That's right. The truth is, if we were to use a poll to determine the successor to me, then I would say the present challenger would not be in the top tier
That's right.
of the persons to be selected. However, the biggest takeaway from this contest, based upon the Bill Johnson polls, is that the People's National Party, throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica, has begun to attract the support of the Jamaican people in larger and larger numbers.
TVJ will have live and extensive coverage of the delegates' vote on Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. The Rise United campaign is fighting back following allegations it's been buying votes ahead of tomorrow's People's National Party presidential election. TVJ's Giovanni Dennis reports.
The Rise United camp, which supports Peter Bunting, is now claiming that it's the one PNP camp supporting current President Dr. Peter Phillips which has been engaged in the practice. It says it has received credible reports of delegates receiving offers of money from the One PNP campaign, but has chosen to address the matter internally. In the meantime, Rise United team is accusing One PNP of seeking to use dons to influence the delegates. In a statement to the media yesterday, Rise United condemned the move, saying the PNP has long turned its face against that type of politics. Meanwhile, political commentator Dr. Paul Ashley says vote buying is a permanent feature of Jamaican politics and both sides of every electoral contest engage in the practice. Dr. Ashley says candidates have always found a way to offer inducements to voters.
Both sides spend money. It seems as if Bunting has more money to spend than Phillips. That is clear. But I don't know politics that you don't spend money. You can't go into politics and not spend money. That is it. They don't call it vote buying. They call it hospitality, they call it camaraderie, they call it about dealing with the needs of the people, everything. Both sides do it. That's how the politicians take care of the voters and the delegates. And I'm saying that if they say it is 10,000, that is way low. No delegate is that cheap.
Dr. Ashley notes that millions of dollars are poured into these campaigns and there is no record of how the money is spent. In the meantime, Dr. Ashley says he is sure the Jamaica Labour Party will use some of the allegations being made in the PNP internal election against the party in the next general election.
I'm on record and said if there's a contest between Peter 1 and Peter 2, the winner is Andrew, A-N-J-U. That is the so. That is just so. The JLP has recorded everything, and we throw it back on them. And they should have known that. I mean, you don't have to be a brilliant individual to know that.
Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.
We'll take a break now on Midday News, but stay with us. More stories after these messages. Welcome back. Continuing the news. The Bahamas, one man is dead and another hospitalized following a shooting incident in Rose Heights, St. James last night. According to residents, the deceased was murdered in cold blood, allegedly by the police. The details in this report.
Bloodstains and bullet holes. Evidence of another crime scene in the tourist capital. The shooting claimed the life of 21-year-old Vic Valdez Sterling, also known as Pepe, and left another hospitalized in Rose Heights, St. James. It's understood that a few minutes after 7, Vic and a friend were sitting down at this area when they were approached by a team of police.
See the Jeep pass and look, then tap and look for me. The man stop right, one car and park, the man stop right, so. And jump out, cheer them jump out. And say, yo, no drop your gun. Drop your gun 2 times. And I just gunshot me after that ball. Be a gunshot. You see me? Just about no run for God, you know, because I don't know who run there. When I say about for look, I shoot man, I shoot off me, I go back in my yard. If you go in, people always start making noise and run out and a gunshot of people in the house stop seeing me.
More than 3 times they fire them big gun after where we are ball out for justice. Up to his sister when they recognize say I look you them. And then and if family for you them a run for go they go see a war and then we are ball out for murder. The policeman all elbow the girl in her head with his gun.
But According to eyewitnesses, shooting at the victims was not enough for the lawmen.
We then get paranoid and don't know what to do. The police them turn to each other and say, oh, they go in one of them go in a van for gun. He gun for come plant. Pan the youth them. And when they couldn't do it because of innocent youth them, so we get mad. And we are ball out for justice and murder. And I saw we are ball out for justice and murder. I saw they fire gunshot them, straight gunshot them off by it up, and we are innocent people too. What kind of style them there?
Vic died on the spot, while his friend sustained injuries and was rushed to hospital for treatment. Vic's mother, Margaret Scarlett, says her son was not a criminal and did not deserve to be murdered.
I tell you what I know my son in Valina. He went have one little girl one time when he was a teenager, they go to school. I mean go a family court with him. In girlfriend, the parents lock him up. That me know in Valina. Me don't have no gun, me don't have nothing with police. If they come here and find him, you need to arrest him then. Why didn't they go shoot him up right there? So that's not right. I murder him.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
Some former Fly Jamaica employees have still not received their severance payments. James Thomas told TVJ News that he's among more than 100 former employees who are yet to be given their redundancy package. This despite what he says is an agreement from the new owners of the airline that outstanding monies would have been paid weeks ago.
To date, we have gotten nothing into our accounts, though we have received our redundancy letters with all of the figures and the breakdown as to what we should have received.
Mr. Thompson says the failure by the new owners to pay outstanding sums is hurting him in many ways.
I cannot emphasize enough the dire strait that I'm facing. I mean, every entity has been calling. Every entity. Bailiff has visited. Okay? Back to school is very, very sketchy. My children, they are lacking in certain basic school amenities, you know, from the three that I have to send back. You know, uniforms, you know, they wouldn't have had adequate amount of uniforms. Books, for those who are going to high school would have only gotten the rental books, you know. It is a challenge to even purchase hardcover books.
In sports, 2015 world champion Daniel Williams will look to claim a wildcard entry for the IWF World Championships on Friday when she competes in the final of the Diamond League in Brussels, Belgium. She heads the list of 8 Jamaicans set to be in action for Diamond trophies. Williams, who is the world leader, would clash with world record holder Kendra Harrison in the women's 100-meter hurdles. Two-time Olympic champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will be Jamaica's lone representative in the women's 100 meters. Fraser-Pryce will face Great Britain's Dina Asher-Smith, Marie-Josée Talou of the Ivory Coast, and Dutch woman Daphne Schippers, among others. Natoya Gould will start in the women's 800 meters with hopes of claiming her first diamond trophy, but will face a strong field headed by American Ajay Wilson. Commonwealth champion and national record holder Frederick Dakers will take on men's discus thrower. Dakers has a season's best of 70.78 meters, while world leader Daniel Stahl of Sweden has thrown 71.86. Akeem Bloomfield is set to contest the men's 400 meters and will have the company of fellow Jamaican Nathan Allen. Ronald Levy will go in the men's 110-meter hurdles. Genevieve Russell will race in the women's 400-meter hurdles, which is a non-Diamond League event. And that's the Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.